click, re-click, refresh. Don't want to click program on that. I haven't got a chip in. Yep, so YouTube seems to consistently just like being toggled on and off to get that working. So I presume YouTube will kick in a second as well, and then I'll have to rename it. Yeah, funnily enough, I've just literally got a phone call off the guy I'm meant to be building that Mega Drive for. So I was like, honestly, I'll be on live any second about to build it, just purely coincidentally. And then I've also got a Game Gear guy that I think I forgot to do. I've got to find. Well, I didn't forget to do. It got put in a pile to bump up, and then everything else got bumped up above it as well. It's like everything's going off in one go. Let me try and find that Game Gear guy while we're waiting, actually. Has YouTube appeared yet? No. Yeah, either YouTube is absolutely ridiculously slow, or you just constantly have to toggle it. Yep, now I've had an email saying I'm live, so yeah, that's just crazy slow. Just wrong title again there. Yeah, for some reason, all these BIOSes have gone crazy. So the Dreamcast BIOSes, we've sold like 100 this week, and we normally sell like 100 will normally last us 3 months, and they've all vanished. And then we've got Jag BIOSes being brought. There's mute that. Edit the title. So yeah, I don't know why everybody's decided they want BIOSes all of a sudden. Right, 54457. It's either going to be that one or the one on the chair. Let me keep this going a minute. Oop. Edit the YouTube title. Public save. Right, YouTube sorted, Facebook sorted. Right, what do I need to do? Game Gear. 557, is it this dude? Craig, I don't think his name was Craig. Keep the programming going. His name was, where's my mouse gone? Forgot already. Carl. Right, let's copy this round the chair then. From. Yep, that's the one. So I haven't made this up, and it is. Yeah, all the addresses covered. It does literally bump up, and it was ready to work on. So we've got to work on that Game Gear after the Mega Drive somehow. We need like a 29-hour day, I think. Oh yeah, I think the Mega Drive's got to have more stuff as well. Where's the Mega Drive? CleanRGB HDMI clean power. Oh, not too bad. Just a clean power, which is not on. Oh, it's the one we've got to epoxy in. Yeah, so we'll have to do that. It shouldn't take too long. Just have to try and actually focus and get on with work instead of too much sidetracking when we start. And then the Game Gear, I'll just have to see. The Game Gear might have to be tomorrow. Right, I need 30 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, not too bad. 1, 2, 3. Need 7 more then. There's not that many left in the pile, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so I'll just do the 30 that are needed for now. Move these over. for another time, so that wasn't too bad for timing. Put them up there. Program them off stream after. Get a bag for these. I haven't even checked if I've got a clean powered down here. Should have. It's 4 more to go, and then Mega Drive time. So got the thing there. Mega Drive 2 clean power. Mega Drive 2 cable. So we need the Mega Drive 1 cable master system. What I'll do. Yeah, they'll all be put into separate little like protective plastic things before we ship them, so they don't get bent and that, but I'm just putting them all in one bag for now to move out the way. So there's our nice clean RGB cable. And then I just need to remember to change the right resistors this time, because the last time I did this I spent the whole stream changing the wrong resistors and then blaming the Mac and the HDMI capture card, and it was just me changing the wrong resistors the whole time. So I'll remember it this time, and I'll also make a note somewhere so that if somebody wants to buy the Mega Drive 2 clean RGB, which is what we're going to use for the Mega Drive 1, before I get around to actually making the dedicated chip, they know what they can buy and swap out. And last one, and this can be moved out the way, and we can try and get a Mega Drive done, a Game Gear done, and what else was there? What did I say on the last stream I wanted to do? There was a... Oh, I've got to do the PCBs as well. Done. That'll be okay for now. Move them out the way. Program it out the way. Laptop out the way. And Mega Drive, let's start with this. Ready to go. Right, and so we have a stripped down Mega Drive 1. That's been taken off, which we might as well clean power. The only thing with clean power is you'll see a bit of video noise, but it'll just be the rolling noise, not too bad. So we'll do the clean power first, I guess. Just floating. There we go. We don't need that. We need composite to check this actually works first. Test cart. Mega Drive 2. I'm not sure why I've got a Mega Drive 2 cable out. I think that was for the other one. There's this and this. Oh yeah, so the DC port removed anyway, so we'd have to clean power it. So let's start with this. This will just be crappy composite to begin with. And we should see a massive improvement. Afternoon, welcome in. We are just going to upgrade this Mega Drive with RGB, hopefully. Nothing goes wrong. Turn that on. I think it's that one. Then every time I'm opening OBS, it's losing the buttons. There we go. HDMI over. Right. I can never tell if that's right because the... Oh yeah, it is, because now we're on the Elgato. That would have said no video. So turn that on. Oh, yeah, got power the thing yet. That's why we said can't test it. We've got to do the clean power first before we can test it. And this one, the one it's going in at the minute, I'm going to have to epoxy in because it's it's one of these ones I need to make an adapter for, basically, to fit right. So let's move them out of the way. Get that out of the way a minute. Go to the overhead. Pull focus. Now, if you're going to do these have got resettable fuses on at the minute, these things. I'd recommend, it's not crucial, but I'd recommend bridging them out. The fuses can add a little bit of noise to the circuit, which is something we found out after using resettable fuses all over our products a year or so ago. We then figured out resettable fuses basically just act like inductors when they're working normally, just part of how they work. But that means if certain circuits like Mega Drives and things have the video circuits coming off this, then you can introduce noise, like unwanted noise. So where do we install this now? It's been a while since I've done one on the Mega Drive 1. Has it been partially done? Oh yeah, Zach's done half the work here. So he's bridged the diode, put them on. So I just need to put the red and black wires on then. Let's get some red, black, and I'm going to make them a bit oversized, just so I've got room to work. Just go to the side camera. Clean that off. Bit of flux off the board. Just mute the audio a second, guys, while I take this call. There we go. So we just need to, ground is here, or here, or here, it doesn't matter which. So we will go, let's say that one. And then input is this one here. So again, for now, I'm just going to tack on the top. And then typically, if you are doing the CleanRGB mod from the start, you'd also zoom out a bit, we're a bit crazy close there. The two regulators here, you want to bridge them together. So Zach's already done that on the back. On the back of that is bridged over the two in and outs, and then you'll look for the diodes there, D1 and D3, and flip over and it's put a little jumper wire on somewhere. Where is it? Definitely seen it's like a micro wire he's put on. Where is it? I've definitely seen it. Oh, I'm gone. Oh no, he's bridged the wrong thing. He's bridged there. Well, doesn't really matter, but there's an inductor up here that's basically a ferrite bead. He's bridged that one up there, which won't harm, but we need to bridge the diodes here, like one of them, otherwise you get too much volts drop. So flip over, and good job I checked that. We need to bridge over here, so over to these two pins basically. All this is on the wiki as well. You can it's got an actual install guide. That lighting, stacking things up, there we go. And let's bridge it with a bit of brown wire. I would if my cutters weren't resting the board up. And you can go over either. You don't need to go over both because they basically join together. So as long as you bridge one of these two, you're fine. And where are we? There we go. That's, and that'll just stop. That was originally for reverse voltage protection when you were using a DC power supply, but you can't do that with USB anyway. So all that ends up doing is dropping the USB voltage too low. So we have clean power installed, nice, quick and easy. And now I think we should be able to test. So we've got composite in, yep, which is that. Switches off, got a controller in. So using my dirty USB power that I say every single stream I need to make a clean USB power, which I really should, but for now plug in this dirty one and we should hopefully get something working. Why is that black and white? Not that it matters, it's going to be RGB, but yeah, maybe it's running in might be running in 60 Hz, which we can figure out and check after. I'm guessing that's running in the wrong frequency for the composite, but again, won't matter. None of the jumpers have been tampered with, so should be stock. Could even just have bad, hang on, it actually might be this converter thing. There we go, just the composite converter. And you can see that noise is, where are we? Big PC? No, that's my face. Big HDMI, there you go. Well, for one, that's blurry as shit, which composite is, but see that flickering noise going up and down? That's part of the fact of just using this poor quality USB. That'll get a lot less when we do the RGB, but we can use a high quality USB, that should go away completely. But console's working, that's the important thing. Probably best checking the controller ports, considering that last one I made had bad controller ports. There we go. Yep, all good. And onto the RGB mod to improve that. So game out the way. Unplug that, unplug that. So now we don't need composite, so that can go away. Controller can move out until we're done. USB can go back down there. And let's go for this install. I definitely need to figure out this lens as well. I can't believe how unclear that is. I wonder if I change this, because I know one thing I did with this, I'll put it on a high ISO, which will make it not as sharp, but it's kind of full focus to there. Bit better zoomed in. Let me just try and lower this aperture rather than ISO. Where even is it? Nope. There we go. Let me try and lower that down. Obviously that's going to brighten the image, but do we get sharper? That's a bit better, isn't it? And the ISO can probably come down a bit. There we go. Is that maybe? Yeah, it's still not the best lens. It's not that. Like, I think that's improved it though. We've got a bit less. Oh shite! What have I just done? I just tapped some auto thing on the camera. Has that just changed all the aperture back? See, this is what happens when you don't use a cinema grade lens on a cinema grade camera. No, it's all still on. So that's lowered the f-stop down a bit, which usually sharpens the image, but it hasn't much. And get this phone call again, 1 second. It's going to be one of them days. Extension, that is for the Mega CD. So that's where it clips in, goes up and, down. It's a Mega Drive 1. Sits on top of the Mega CD. Right, so all we need to do on this is on here, we have the video chip. Now we have, it's upside down. We have red, green and blue in here and red, green and blue out here. So these ones go out to this port and these ones are the inputs. So we want to tap off these inputs, red, green and blue. And we want, instead of this chip going out to the port, we want to take control of it. So we can either cut this green wire here, which clearly goes to there, and then the two under here, which will be going nowhere. Did it never even bother connecting RGB on this one? Oh, it does, I think. Yeah, so, oh, it's going through caps to, have I got that backwards? RGB isn't connected on this one. So why is green connected? I'm getting confused with something here. So, red, green and blue in, red, green and blue out. So this blue out clearly goes over to there, flips over, and goes to this pin on the AV port, which doesn't make sense. I must be getting my pinouts mixed up in my head. Let me double check. Because that is definitely not right. I've got something wrong. Let's have a look. No, I haven't. I've got it right. So that's confusing. Okay, let's have a look at the, let's pull up PC on here. So you can see red, green and blue. So you can see there's the chip. Red, green, and blue. So my confusion is, there's blue out, clearly goes up over to the port. But I know what the confusion is, because what I was doing then is flipping over, seeing on this other side here, red, green, and blue going nowhere. And I'm like, oh, they're going nowhere, but they're going under this chip. These two will be going under and coming out by these two traces, I can guarantee it. So these two traces there will be there. So this is red, green, and blue, these three traces here. So we could sever them two and sever this one, and then we can connect wires to it, basically. So let's double check they are the ones, which I'm sure they are, because there's nothing else in that area. And then we just need to cut them, stick the chip on, and solder down. And then change all the resistors. So red there, I'm going to guess, is this one. Nope, that's green, so that's why we should check. That one will be red then. So we've got green, red, blue that we've got to remember. And we need to cut them traces. So use my ultra super powerful one and probably blow out more than just the traces. So I'm getting the scope to do this, so I can see what I'm doing. Get the scope up for you guys. There we go. And we just want to blow through these two traces here, and then, or what I'll do is I'll attach it to, I'll cut it here and here, and then we can attach to the traces up there. Or we can attach 3 wires to the inputs and just the traces to the outputs. That's what I'll do actually. So just go through here. Welcome in. So that one's gone. If you're unsure as well, put in some flux, put in some IPA, and then you can clearly see that's the trace broke. So now these traces run back to the chip, so I'm going to attach wires to the chip pins. We need to cut this blue trace as well, so let's just do that before we forget. Let's go diagonal. Yep. I've either got a crazy aggressive grinder or I've got one that can't eat through toffee. I need to buy a better one. So that's cut through that trace. So now, actually we need it back anyway, we need to expose these to solder to. Out we come again. So I'm just going to make a solder pad there. Solder pad there. Solder pad there. So these are now going to the extension ports. These are now the outputs. The inputs can now be these 3 pins. And the sync we'll need to check up after, or shall we just check it now so we know what we're doing? And this will all be made into a simple install guide when I get time, which I've been saying for about 2 months now since I released this and said I'd do it the next day. Right, so we can go on the new wiki, which, look at this now, we've got 123, let's pull that up full, 123 live users on the wiki at the minute, which is insane, and we have 4,000 people have visited in the last 4 days. That's how popular the wiki is. Now I've written it myself and I can do stats on it. So we need to go to Mega Drive. Oh, I need to rename these as well, don't we? Because we've got some things without the Sega and some things with. We've got a Master System without. Shall I just do it now? Actually, I forgot where I added my... Oh, there's a bug. Can't close the menu. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, so... Yeah, kind of. It's a bug if you click inside the menu, it doesn't close it. Yeah, I don't know if I've added code to be able to rename folders. I haven't, you know. I need to. I can create them. I can't rename them after I've made them. I'll fix that code. So we'll go to the AV pinout. C-Sync is what we care about. So C-Sync's this one here. There, welcome in. Yes, definitely clean hair now. Oh, I'm looking at them like, what's that? It's the PC. I was wondering what I was looking at then. So that goes there. And there's the AV port. Of course, everything on this board's the other side. So you can see C-Sync there is going nowhere on this side of the board. But flip it over, go to the opposite pin. This will be C-Sync, so it's clearly this big fat one next to it. So again, we should have just finished that off. So yeah, it's a fade, definitely a faded Sonic. I need to get it cut more often as well. I don't think I realise how big my hair gets until I go get it cut, and then I realise how much it's grown. But that seems dark. There you go. We need to cut through this trace here, then the one next to it that we nearly cut through anyway. And then we've got the pad above. So let's see if I can do that. Cut through that one. Don't cut through the one next to it, please. And expose that. There we go. So we've got RGB and C-Sync all exposed, cut and ready. Oh, Red Bull everywhere. I'll trust me having a giant Red Bull. I've got a absolutely massive Red Bull and just knocked him everywhere. Got my cloth. I'm more worried that I've lost half of my Red Bull than I've made a mess of the desk. Where's it going? Jeez, that's gone far. Oh, it's going to be sticky and stinky now. Maybe move that out of the way now. Lift it up. Of course, it's gone all over the mains plug, like of all places to go. It's like, I'm going to go on the mains plug. Spray some IPA. At least it smells nice. That wasn't too bad. Could have been worse if I didn't catch it. That would have been the whole tub. Right, what were we doing before I knocked me Red Bull everywhere? Oh yeah, so we've got the RGB and C-Sync now. It's an excuse I've got to drink all this Red Bull in one go. Right, so let me show you on this. The goal now is stick this on here. I'm going to, side quest. I know I said I wouldn't. Easy to do my head on. Super quick recap. Lazy man's way of recapping. Just because they get in my way. There we go. That's what we want. You can go down. You can go down. There we go. And now we'll recap that area just so I can actually do what I need to do. And these are all 10, yeah, 10 marker, 10 marker, 10, 10, 10, 10. Wicked. Let's get some 10 ceramics. There they are. The Mega Drive one is definitely one of them consoles that has 700 more caps than it needs. All right, let me just put you on mute again while I recap this and answer the phone so you can watch a recap in silence. we go. We'll get around to having an uninterrupted stream at one point. This tip is starting to give it a shot. And I think that is a baby recap in that area done. Ooh, nearly knocked something else over. So where were we? So now we have this that can go on here. The sync is going to go, sync in is this side, so we'll go on, I go on the wiki and go to the top, this one, we'll go to the third pin up. So the third pin up is here, goes up around wherever, but we're going to take a wire to that third pin up. RGB in or RGB in here. 5 volt should be the bottom. Yeah, so we'll do 5 volts on the bottom. And then on the output here, sync up will go to the top there. Ground will go to any ground. So we'll pick probably this ground here. Or to be honest, this ground here is good. And then red, green, and blue out go to those out there. So that's the goal. We'll stick this on last because we might as well do all the wiring now. So let's get all these wires cut and stripped and soldered on and stuff. I think this is that customer. Here it is. I have a Mega Drive 1 and 2, which specifies work but not modified when I'm passing. Would you want them for parts and free? Oh, yeah, that's wicked. Cool. So he's actually offering to give me a few Mega Drives and that for free as well. Oh, thanks for the sub. Right, so we have 5 volt. We use orange. Where's my orange gone? It's come out the hole again. I'm going to put a separate hole up here. I'm fed up taking him out. You will go and be high up. Sorry for anybody with OCD. That's now going to drive you crazy on every stream, but orange is getting a separate hole. We will have orange there, loop around. He's plenty. Like so. Yeah, I might try and do the Mega Drive next week in between all of this crazy work. The Mega Drive 1 that I keep saying I'll do. So, because this is like, I think we've done enough of them now that we know you're going to have to cut traces or lift this chip out on Mega Drive 1s. That's just what it is. And we know as long as we provide long enough wires, it'll fit. We just got to bear in mind them caps on most of the Mega Drives have got to be resized. The AV out on the Mega Drive and Master System are the same, yeah. I'll show it on the Retro 6 wiki. I think it even says a note when you go to the AV pinout of Master System. It will say, the Master System 1 has the exact same port as the Mega Drive 1, Genesis 1. Also has the same pinout as Neo Geo AES, but the spacing is different for the top 2 pins, which basically means the composite cables are the same, but RGB cables don't fit between the Neo Geos and the Mega Drives and Master Systems. But yeah, absolutely identical for Mega Drive 1 and Master System, same cable. I did a whole load of research when I was making these cables years ago as well. You wouldn't believe how much information was wrong online about the pinouts of old cables. I think every single Mega Drive 1 composite cable on the market had the audio routed to RGB green. So you'd get a random, one of the audio channels was basically the green data. So you'd get noise on the screen. And they were sold on eBay by the thousands, and people just didn't know and thought it was the consoles. So that was, again, part of the reason why I put all the AV pinouts on the wiki and did all the research myself and then made all these cables myself as well to clean up all that mess. Whereas now, I think Probably thanks to the wiki, people now know the pinouts, and a lot of the places have got more accurate info on it. They actually got it wrong because, and this is something else I decided I wanted to know why they also screwed it up. PC Engine, I believe. Baby side quest. I think the PC Engine AV, was it this one? Composite right audio, 5-volt left audio. I know there was definitely another cable, and I don't even know which way around it was. I just know there was one of these cables with green, and it was very common. Green down there, audio up there, and then audio, yeah, there you go. Audio down there, left audio there. It was something to do with, I found out exactly why and how it could have happened. And I'm sure it was something to do with this PC Engine. And see, the green is there, and composite, so composite the same, ground's the same. Composite the same, ground the same. That's it, it's the other way around. PC Engine GT cables, or PC Engine cables, they had this wired, but they presumed, because it fit, it was wired the same as this. So they'd got the green here wired on the PC Engine cables to the right audio channel. That's what it was. And then the left audio got mono audio. So it seemed to work when they were quickly testing it, but nobody realized, like the manufacturers never realized that they'd wired it completely wrong. So that's what it was. It wasn't the Mega Drive. It was that they used the Mega Drive pinout by mistake, basically. That's what I'm thinking of. All right, so red, green, and blue input will be on the inputs of these. See, most people remember people's birthdays. I remember that the PC Engine had a green RGB data on the audio channel, and then I don't remember people's birthdays instead. It's a good trade-off. There's the red. Green. Don't let me forget the pinout at the top here goes green, red, blue, not red, green, blue. Oh yeah, I even I booked something for a birthday, and I'd booked something for the Friday, thinking it was a birthday, and the birthday was the Saturday, but she knows me by now. And then I dropped a hint about something, and I mentioned like, yeah, well, you know, something Friday, and she's like, why Friday? I'm like, your birthday? And she's like, my birthday's Saturday. I was like, yeah, so I had to cancel and change the date. So, I mean, she's lucky I remembered it. One thing I can never ever remember is dates, ever. Like, and it's not a joke. I don't know how old I am. I know my date of birth. I know Rusty's date of birth. That's it. They're the two date of births I know. I don't know my parents, don't know my sisters, don't know the missus. I'll sometimes get the missus right, but I usually get the month and the day wrong. If we don't talk about it for long enough, I even forget the year. It's just, I don't know, dates with me. They do not stick in my head. Something about them. And then, like, with my date, I know when I was born, but then age-wise, because I never bother working it out, I just know I always say within a year, I normally get it right. I'm normally like, you know, within a year, I know where I am, roughly. Oh, God. Tired already. I thought Red Bulls meant wake you up. Oh, I know, yeah. I even tried to save it in the calendar, and you know what I did? I got a message saying it was the missus' birthday 5 days before it was. And then I got a message the day before it was a birthday saying it was my birthday. So even when I use like Moonpig, I put the datum wrong in Moonpig. So it doesn't really help, because all technology does is remind me of where I got it wrong. I have to get it right in the first place. Right, so red's all the way up there, coming down to there. Right, so it was, what was it? It was green there, red there, blue there, I think. So this is red. Look at the question I put you above. You'll have to post it again because this, the chat I said is nowhere to be seen in OBS. I still don't know where it's gone. So if I don't see it on screen at the minute, in fact, I've also forgot Facebook was open. Let's see if we've got any chat there. Oh, no chat anyway. Oh yeah, no, I read that. I didn't realise there was a question there. Brought a third-party composite cable from Mega Drive 2 for testing and finding it works. Okay, but when I put both left and right into my retro scaler, the volume is halved. Retro scaler, is that what I use? Retro scaler 2X is it called? Yeah, retro scaler 2X. Tried with my brother's cabler machine, it's fine. The cable's probably got some magic in, maybe. Is there anything in? No, because you just got RCA jacks at the end, I presume. Not RGB, obviously. Oh god, got a yawn. So yeah, there's going to be no magic in there. And it's not your retro scaler. Like you've tried using the exact same retro scaler. It's just you've changed the cable. If so, does it happen if you take, say, the left channel and plug it into the left of the retro scaler, then plug that into the right of the scaler? They stay full volume, and then flip it round and do the right output, plug that into the left and right individually. So you're testing each left and right channel one at a time in the left and right channel one at a time of the scaler. Does that, all four of them combinations, keep it full volume? Green's up there. And there, yeah, so you've done that to prove that each channel is full volume, and then when you put them together, it halves. I could only think. Oh no, because you said it's the cable as well, didn't you? So it's literally a cable issue. I mean, the most obvious thing is just a dirty or a different pin. If I leave just L in its full volume, if I leave R in its full volume together, it's hard. But what about if you switch them? Well, that won't make a difference on that. But I presume you've put like left into the right and right into the left, and it makes no difference. Obviously, that's pretty much a guarantee. I'd say maybe just the this, not necessarily this port. Well, this port could be dirty because what can happen is the retro scaler probably detects that you've only put one audio channel in, so it doubles the volume. And then when you plug in two in, it halves the volume because there's two channels coming in the way it muxes. So I'm just thinking, slightly dirty pin or slightly shitty cable that goes into that, you're going to add a bit of resistance. And bear in mind the resistance on the audio is quite low. So if you add resistance, you don't even need to add that much of dirt. You'll then be like, effectively your audio will like collapse basically. So I'd say IPA the port vigorously and see if that solves it. If not, you could just have the cable itself could be slightly fragile. In which case, if a cable's got a partial break throughout the cable, it's going to have higher resistance. Now, why that works with a single left or right channel, it could be that the retro scaler compensates if there's a mono audio and just boosts it until it hits a ceiling. So it could be boosting the fact that the cable's a bit fragile and weak when there's one channel, but when there's two, it does some kind of calculation between the two or something. Right, C-Sync now. Let's get some of these cables back in. All poking out a bit. No. You stay out. You stay up. Green. Yeah, yellow's somewhere. How have you got all the way over there? we need yellow in a minute anyway. We've done black, we've done blue. I like that purple. Oh no, I wasn't looking and I've moved the purple in. Okay, another hole again. I've had enough of opening this box up to put cables back in. I should have put the holes at the top all along, because then you can thread them through easier. There we go. Right, white. I still haven't done the photo for the website for these. There's still no photo. I should really do that. I could do with stacking them up nicely and doing like a really nice photo. I think we've sold a grand total of 1 because there's no photo and nobody knows what they are on the website. Then sync is going from here down to here. So that's 1. I mean, it is really good wire, to be honest. I like using it more now because I can strip with this and I don't have to sit with my iron. When I'm doing a lot of wiring, this is definitely quicker. Yeah, I think definitely. To be honest, I could probably do an AI photo as long as it does it justice and looks like the wire. I could probably make a really nice, high quality rendered AI photo, but it is literally just wire with the right color. So I should be able to then just Photoshop the color back into the exact same visual and make a really nice photo. Sync for there, and the other sync is going, where did we say? Down here, 3rd pin up, around up to there. Yeah, and having a bit of colour on the board is nice as well, when you kind of see all these wires. I moved it around. Yeah, I know they look a bit messy there, but I kind of like seeing them colours now. There we go. I don't think I've forgot everything. It's just a case of wiring up. And then we'll get the scope out and fix the resistors. And we should have a really nice RGB then, hopefully. And this is a VA1, so we might just have to fix some jail bars, but we should be able to get clean video, I think, from this. I'm pretty sure. Because the last one I did, every time I pick one to do, I end up picking a VA4, which has got the massive jail bars that no one's fixed yet fully, that I keep meaning to try and do. Yeah, so that's all on. Let's get this wired up and see if we get some RGB output first, and then we'll fix the actual voltage level, because this is obviously set up for the Mega Drive 2. Let me just reply to this guy 1 second. Let me just mute this while I reply to the customer. Yeah, the VA4, I've done a little bit on it. I started tracing it, and I can't remember where I got up to. Well, I do, but I don't want to give away, because you know what people are like. For the minute I announced I was going to fix noise on the VA4, some magical Australian that's already started cloning some of our products decided to do a video on trying to fix the video noise on the VA4. Failed miserably, but the fact I even announced I was going to do something, they would try and jump on the bandwagon. So I do have a potential source and fix for it, but I'm not going to reveal what I've discovered, because nobody else has figured that out yet. And if I even hint at you guys what I've figured out, people are going to try and just jump on it and steal thunder, as they always do. And I think I give away a bit too much info in one of the streams, but luckily they're probably too lazy to watch the full stream, so they wouldn't have picked up on the details I was already onto the right sort of line of thinking. Let me not forget that Xbox 1 second. Just got to reply to another customer about where's my mouse? About an Xbox. Otherwise, I'll forget to do this. Form. Search email. There we go. Let me just mute this while I tell the customer. I've just been dictating a message to the customer while muting the mic that I'm dictating on like an absolute idiot. I'm going to have to hand type it. In fact, I'm going to make a note because that's a big long message I can't be bothered to type. Now I'm lazy and I dictate everything. So let me just write down there. In fact, I can leave it as a note on my computer and just leave it open. That's what I'll do. That was funny. I started dictating halfway through, noticed the mic was muted. I'm like, oh yeah, of course, I can't do that. I can do this one though. Yep, that's the chip, that's the backlight driver IC. I've already given you the bag for them. If there's nothing in stock levels, just add them in. There won't be anything ordered that isn't in stock levels. I think we're done. Oh my god, the clean screen are going crazy as well. I've got the next batch of I've only ordered 500 this time, and the next batch of clean screen V4s we've sold 300 already. They got delivered like a day ago. Jesus, this is definitely the most popular clean screen I've ever made. Right, so I think we were up to the point of soldering this on, weren't we, before I got distracted by other things again. Zoom it in. There's the focus. Trying to keep on top of all the work because I'll be working tonight as well, so ignore the fact that I just keep doing random emails and stuff. I'm just trying to stay on top. Yeah, that's fine. Update on the Saturn. Oh, great. Somebody else is chasing. So we'll be doing a Sega Saturn tomorrow probably as well. Yeah, cool. Right, let's carry on. Yeah, we can do a ribbon, to be honest. It's just one of them that I kind of like these wires just being floating because there's so many variations of the Mega Drive 1. To be honest, I think you've got to cut the traces anyway, that's a given, and the traces are all in different spots. I think if we just provide a kit where the wires are this size, so that they're plenty length enough, and we do this, and the resistors are set correct, then it's just as quick to cut the traces, solder the wires in. The time we've spent here has been cutting these wires, stripping them, and then having to think every time what we do because I don't have a guide at the minute. Oh, that's a massive wire headed, like Yalla, huge. So I just think a kit with these wires pre-stripped like the Mega Drive 2 is probably, at least for version 1 as well, I think it's nice and quick, and I can get it ordered in, you know, straight away, pretty much. I can design the PCB only without having to get board scans and accurate measurements and stuff, and I can just get this ordered like I can probably get this made in the next week, because again, we're seeing many of these that we're having to well, I'm having to do all of these ones because they need the oscilloscope at the minute, and every time I figure it out, I keep forgetting to write the guide and then make the notes. So this one, I'm definitely making notes on what resistors we change, and I'm going to do it correct this time. So I'll probably, in fact, while I'm thinking then, I will, let me get the other wires on the other side so this doesn't look a bit strange and half wired, and then we can clip this, and I can then use that screenshot to write up a quick guide after. And I'll put like a written guide on the wiki, like a nice quick, just a few sentences until I've made the board to say if you want to do it. Wow, I haven't made that long enough. Ooh. I mean, it's not the nicest because I'm having to stretch it over, but it's not exactly terrible, but it's a bit long as well. Yeah, there is literally 6 or if not more, no, there's probably 12 variations of the Mega Drive if you account for the Genesis as well. So there wouldn't be too many, it's probably like 3 or 4 distinctive layouts. But I'm just thinking, getting it to market and getting the install nice and easy. And people do seem to like wires as well. I think certain scenes prefer wires than flex ribbons. I think they look at flex ribbons and think they're difficult. So as long as, I think, like I say, most people will provide kits and they won't give you wires, or they'll give you wires and they're not cut to length and stripped, and that's where all your time is. That's the reason flex ribbons are good, because they save so much time. Right, so we can clip that bit there, and I can use that exact part of the stream. I should probably do it myself as well, because my stream is way higher res than what goes out on the stream. There we go. Yeah, if I look at your YouTube stream, my screen is way more detailed than what you guys see. Right then, preview. New. Let me save that. Desktop, Mega Drive 1, CleanRGB. I'll save that as. And then I will forget to do that and not make the mod and move on to something else tomorrow, I'm sure. Right then, let me open up the schematics for this. Let's figure this out yet again. I don't know how many times I've done this. And go up. And the problem, or the difference with the Mega Drive 1 and 2 is the Mega Drive 2 has a different DC offset. So I think, if memory serves, the Mega Drive 2 has a voltage offset of 2.5 volts, and the Mega Drive 1 has an offset of 2 volts. So that's what we have to adjust for. Yeah, these are just AliExpress jobbies. If you search for, I've got my schematic over the screen. Can't see. There we go. That big number. FSE FSD4. And then you set this little tab here. This just moves freely. You find a sweet spot where it works perfect. Now, I brought Zach a pair, and his are actually much closer to here. So even though they're quite, I wouldn't say they're cheaply made in a sense, because they feel good, but they're only 15 quid. They're not exactly expensive strippers, but there's variety in the movement of this plastic, which all it does is move this jaw. This physical jaw here gets pushed further down when this moves across, so that then the final pinch point there is under a different tension. But you find a sweet spot on them and they work perfect. And I haven't had any issues with them clipping the wire at all. So definitely recommend them. Right, keycard. What was I doing? Right, so we had, yeah, so 2.8, and I'm sure I want to say we wanted to change them to 2 volts. Let me do 2 volt, 2K. We'll do one of these first. We're going to need the scope to see this. Ouch, static shock. To see this properly. Xbox dude, I've got replied to. I've replied to that Mega Drive dude. What else have I got to do? Game Gear dude. We've got to try to get onto that Game Gear. So much to do. Right, ground wire. The only thing is my desk is full of tiny stripped wire plastic ends. So when you're stripping the wire, you end up with a right mess. Oh, you're going to use these wire strips as well. Definitely buy my little wire kit that I spent tons of money. I literally spent thousands of money making. I asked the factory for the bill because it's end of year. So obviously trying to clear all profits in the bank. That did not take long to do. I asked one of our factories for the bill that was only like, I don't know, a month or two old. I thought, yeah, I'll owe about 15 grand, I'll send it. 51 grand I owe him. I'm like, Jesus, that added up quick. Was all the clean screens, because we had 700 clean screens. Then we've ordered another 500 clean screens. Then we've made 3 new colours of GBA shells. So we've had 1,000 of each of them shells. That's 3,000 shells. And I was like, I forgot how much I ordered. And I've not even sold a single one of them sapphire GBA shells, because I think I haven't even advertised them yet. I keep forgetting to advertise. So I think if we go on the PC, the wire gets there with absolutely no image. And then the thing is with the new shell kits, you can't tell. You'd have to go in and then go, oh, there's a sapphire and a mint and a blue. And I think, see, we merged all the shells originally and we had loads of products. Now I'm tempted to split them back out again so that every shell, when you go to like, because when we went to Mods and Parts and like Game Boy, we had so much stuff in here before that it was mad, but now we've hardly got anything. So I think instead of putting the shell inside here and then you have to go in and then Luke, I think I'm going to split them all back out, because then I could put like these on the homepage and this just doesn't do it justice. This is the Game Gear Sapphire colour and it looks ace, absolutely lovely on the Game Boy. But like I say, I don't think we've even sold any. And I brought 1,000. So, well, I've made 1,000. We own the molds. Same with these. These are all, we've made 1,000 of each of these. I need to really advertise them so we sell some. Otherwise, I've got a huge amount of stock that I'm never going to sell. And I should do, I think I said before as well, I should do more Game Gear builds on stream, but Game Boy builds on stream. But with that constantly busy, that the only consoles I ever end up working on are the ones that need me to do, if you know what I mean, like the ones that Zach isn't familiar with as much. Whereas if I'm doing Game Boys that he can happily do and do better than me, I'm kind of taking some of his work off and my work gets behind. But it's one of them. It's like, we really need it to be shown off on stream though, because it's one of the main consoles. So I don't know, or you guys can try and promote for me. You point people over to the website and say, we've got 1,000 of these shells, you need to buy them. I just blobbed a bit of solder on there so my scope can grip on a bit better, like so. And then it won't fly off. And now we need to start with, what I'm going to do is, well, before we do anything, before we probe anything, let's check this console works. We should get RGB now. It should just be quite dark looking, because we might have to change 2 things. The Xbox guy, it's a fully maxed out Xbox with all the games, but I'm using that like the the RGB cables that just plug in and they convert the Xbox's RGB into HDMI, and they work pretty good. It's getting pretty much no audio when you plug it in and turn it on, but if you just unplug and replug the cable, it works. So I don't know whether it's the brand of HDMI cable I'm now using, or whether it's just that Xbox with a quirk, but the port's perfectly clean. There's no issues with the port, and all you have to do is turn the console on, then unplug and replug the HDMI, and then the audio starts working. It's a bit weird. So I've just got to let them know I've serviced it all and it's definitely okay. and I presume they'll be happy with it. But if not, I'd have to offer them like an internal mod at some point. They are. They're obviously not a specific brand all the time. I think it's gone down already. Not anymore. Yeah, there's no specific brand on them. They're just the. I could crack them open and find the chips inside, but they'll just be using the usual RGB to HDMI converter chips inside. It's similar to the Shepherd, but obviously they might not be the exact same chip inside. And I've used them myself, and we've never seen this issue, but there's literally nothing wrong with the console bar. Which is like a bit strange. So I just want to let them know, basically. Have I got a shop on Facebook? No, we used to. We used to have 3 different shops, but now we've been online only again. We've started online only and went back to online only. Well over I think a year and a half ago now, since we closed them stores. So that back in, controller, and turn on. Tap on there. Good stuff. No output. Oh, got no power. Forgot to plug the USB in. Try again. Yeah, so we've got that slight. Yeah, see how dark it is? Got that slight noise again, which is probably this cheapy USB, but we'll try it on a decent one after. And I'll show you what. That's a Type port. Show you what the test switch shows. So it looks like this is where I got confused on the last one because I wasn't thinking straight and I had a long day. This looks like the voltage wouldn't be high enough because it's dark, but it's actually not. It's that the DC offset's being cut off. So, wrong test. Well, let's go to color bars first. So you see the hint that I should have picked up on is, see the numbers 0 to 4 are basically missing, but yet the other side is quite bright, whereas if it was actually not bright enough, you'd see that the numbers on the right side would be cut off, not the numbers on the left. So a small detail that I kind of overlooked, but that's hinting that we've cut off the bottom part of the image, which is what this does because we've got the wrong offset. So let's see. I guess we can open the scope up and we will probe the red output to start with. Oh, you're in Spain? Is that where you actually live, or you've gone on holiday? I'm guessing you've gone on holiday. Probe 10 times. Right, let's get this up. We want red channel, red resistor. 1, 2, 3, 4 up on this one. So zoom in. Four up, oops, and we want 4 up on the inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4 there. And we want PC over here. And I want to drag over the scope. Bring that down. I can go down to there. Ah, nice. Yeah, don't tell the missus that because she'd 100% spend my money on a holiday home, whereas I'm not. Like, I like holidays with Rusty in the UK. Right, so there's where we are on the voltage, and this is where I got confused as well. So you can see the ladder. Is that the right one? You can see this ladder coming down. I think I can drag around. No, I can't. Not how it's captured. So this ladder here is the steps of colour. So this is the red channel. So those numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever they were, on I guess HDMI. Oh, I can do that. HDMI over. So see the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you'd have 9, which is called A, C, and E for some reason. So it'd be 9, 10, 11. So there should be 11 steps, and you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps, and it cuts off. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the visible ones, and 0 to 3 are cut off. So that's, like, if I'd have looked at the scope, that's why, to be fairly obvious. Voltage wise, this is the this is the output before attenuation, so this should be 1.6 volts. So from 0 it should be 1.6 volts, and the full range should be 1.2. So we should have 0.2 offset here, which we have perfectly, 0.2, which would have been another hint of what was going on before when I wasn't paying attention. And then here you see we've got 975 millivolts. That should be 1.4, so that should be up here. So what I was doing is boosting the output gain and then scaling this cropped output higher, which wasn't bringing back the colour that's in the HDMI at the bottom. We were just making the top end brighter. So the correct way of doing it is to fix the DC offset on the input, which if I then press play on this and go back to this view with this view over, what we can now do is probe, so I can show you. Actually, I don't need to probe that. You can literally probe the red input. So here's the red input, straight from the Mega Drive. I'll probe it right. There we go. And where's my mouse gone? Go over the top. Drag this up. We actually got there. Yeah, it's still running. What am I probing wrong then here? Is ground still on? Yep. Why am I not seeing red input? It's definitely red input there. Oh, because, yeah, there you go, to capture there. There we go. So, you can see there's the input, which is, to be honest, it's not that clear to kind of show you what I wanted to show you, because for some reason it's quite messy. It's a weak signal that is probably getting attenuated by the input signal here. Yep, enjoy your holiday. And thanks for dropping in. Go to that one. So you can see you can't really see the 10 steps here. You kind of can. It's like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 steps. So you can just about see them. And look at this offset. What I mentioned, you've got an exact 2 volt offset. Now the Mega Drive 2, the offset's here. So what we're doing, and it all adds up perfectly there, we're cropping this bit of data off here. So we're literally chopping that bit of data off, and then we're growing this bit here up. So all we need to do to fix that is change the input resistor DC removal circuit. I wonder how long it is till the Australians clone this. Now they can watch this video as well, because you know that's going to come next. Let me pull up the schematic, and if I remember off the top of my head, I did all the calcs for this, and I'm sure it's this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or the second one up with the gap. So choose the micro hot air for this. Turn this off. Let's get this one here, needs to come off. There we go. So that one, we're going to do just the red for now, and check on the scope if we've got it right before we do the rest. Oh yeah, Reddit's awesome, isn't it? They'll be telling me I cloned somebody that cloned me, which they've done before as well. I've made a product, somebody's cloned it, and they've gone, "You've cloned off this product." No, check the release date. But yeah, you'll never stop people that want to whinge. There's a 2K resistor, and let's plonk this on. So, in fact, shall I remove? No, I can just circle them in the photo. I was going to say, shall I remove all 3 resistors? So we've got a nice little photo of which resistors to remove, but I can do that on the wiki anyway. Wow, this is I've got this on crazy speed. You don't need it that fast. Yeah. Hey, if they cloned Rusty, I wouldn't even be upset. Like, just give me the clones. You can have friends. Oh, that went on well. I think, to be honest, this is still way too powerful for this tiny board. There you go. Wow, that's a... Oh, this is confusing. Oh, I've looked up at where the hot air is, and it's not even pointing there. On the camera, it looked like I was pointing at it, but I was pointing over here. Right, that's one of them on. So we'll then measure the output. Oh yeah, I think that dude Eyeball, was he called or something? I'm sure I've seen him years ago. I think he's been like a long time hater. But yeah, he went crazy, didn't he? Couldn't stand that people were actually standing up for me for once. Well, I think that's the problem. If you let hatred fester, then you're kind of doing yourself. This is where a lot of the hate for me kind of stemmed from, because I didn't, I've got better things to do than get dragged down into bullshit, basically. And I just let fester and let people just say what they wanted. And because I was never kind of defending myself or telling people, oh, it's wrong, and wasting my time on that kind of stuff, that's what led to the years of people constantly telling these lies and getting away with it. So I don't think it's something I should basically let slide anymore, as much as it's just miserable having to deal with people that are miserable. I think if you leave it, and let people say it, then it gets worse. So you have to spend some of your time, at least, kind of. What's that flicker for? Some of your time defending. I had this before, didn't I? When I had this random... What was that flicker? Can you guys remember? When I had this really bad flicker and I kept thinking it was some connection issue and it was something completely random. I can't remember now. Let's see if it goes away anyway. Colour bars. There we go. So ignore the colour balance, because obviously red's now brighter. That looks pretty much like we can see all the colours. So let's now see what the red output does again, which is on here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that pulse is definitely something that on the screen that's pulsing. You can kind of ignore that, because I know that's not a problem as such, but I can't remember what was causing it the last time. When I figured out what it was, I was like, oh, that's what it was. I think it was just a wire touching or something, or a scope on. 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's this pin here, there, and if we now go back to, this is a PC there, back down to 5 volts. Probably fit it all in there. So now, let's see where we're at. 0.5. That's so we've not quite removed the DC offset now. So that should be 0.2. So we've got a tiny bit to go. It needs to be. It seems a lot when you zoom out this far, but it should be like down there. And we are up there, whereas at the minute we were cutting off way high. So ignoring the offset we need to fix. That's 1.1, so yeah, the values are still off a bit. And we've got this. Have we got all the steps though? So that will be black. Then we've got 1, which will be number 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got all the steps, they're all there. Obviously, I don't know why I've just done that. We clearly have, because we're too high up. So we still need to remove some of the offset. But then also we need to gain afterwards, because we're at 1.1 and we should be at 1.4. So there's actually 6 resistors we need to change on here. So let's go to 1.8 on the resistor. That's why I only did 1 this time, instead of doing all of them in one go. And then that's what the new mod will be, obviously, will be the perfect values for these resistors. So it was second one up, wasn't it, there? And this one will move a bit more. I could just, what I normally do when I'm making these mods is put a potentiometer on and dial it in perfect, but I think we'll get close enough doing it this way because I did some calcs before to actually work this out, and the calcs come in at 2K. Oh, of course that's going to happen. Yeah, the calcs come in at 2K, but these are just generic resistors, so they might be 2K. But I need to probably use the scope here. I can't see a damn thing. There we go. These might be like, they say 2K in the book and they're actually, 2.3 or something. They're not necessarily 0.5 accuracy resistors like I'd use when I do mass assembly. But this is only to get this one done. So let's probe that. We're on already. I think you press B. Is it just start you press? Yeah, start you press to get back in. So we could actually do start A, down A. There we go. And then we go fourth one up. Go on the PC, press play. So that's where we were, there. Come on, gone. Where's the signal gone? Signal's back. Something's weird with this connection. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so this is where we were, and if I press play, this is now where we are, so that's done nothing. We've gone higher up, which makes no sense. Why have we gone higher up? What have I done wrong? Am I doing something daft again? RN, there. Second one up. No, I changed the right one, so that's just the quality of these resistors in this book then. So let's go down to 1.6. So that's obviously what I was mentioning about the accuracy of the resistors. We've probably got this book of generic resistors where the 2K and the 1.8K are probably the same resistor, or they're that low accuracy that they end up looking the same on the video output, but they did change ever so slightly, but nowhere near enough. Oh, we still got this actually on. Probably turn that off would help. Off and get a 1.6 on. If this one isn't right, I'm just going to get a potentiometer and get the right value bang on, but hopefully. And you don't need to be insanely close to the 2. The 0.2 offset, because all the receivers use DC restoration diodes that remove this offset anyway, but generally 0.2 is your perfect offset where you want to be. And back to scope. Let's cool this down because I can't be bothered to wait. Turn on. Start. A, wait, down A. There we go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Why are we going up? My calculation's backwards, isn't it? That's what it is. Yes, I'm going the opposite way. So, wicked. So, let's go the other way then. Helps if I actually thought about the math before I did this. We're going the wrong way. So we had 2K and we were, what were we? Was it 0.4? And that's a 0.4 jump. Actually, what's that? What did that go up to? 0.7 from 0.5, so that was 0.2. So yeah, I think a 2.2. 2.2 or 2.4, what do you reckon? I think 2.4. Let's go for that. So I'd done the math to work out the change in resistance from the current one to where it is, but Then when it was slightly off, I've gone the opposite way on the correction. So we need a higher resistor, not a lower. This one off again. Come on, little solder ball, get out of the way. There we go. And once more with feeling. We'll get there in a minute. Start. Wait a few seconds. A, down A. Probe on the 4th pin up. And go on to Scopey Scope. There we go. That's what we want to see. Oh, look at that. 0.2. And then is this? Oh, we're so close now. So 0.2, and do we have 11 steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Great. All the steps are there. And we've got to go up on the boost by that much. So barely any gain. So we can put the... oh god, yeah, AliExpress. I am lethal on that thing. I'll go on for like a pair of these strippers, and then £400 later and loads of shit I don't need, and just random tools. Like I'll buy soldering irons I don't need, and just I browse for the sake of wanting to spend money as well on there. It's like my fix for no longer having maplings. I can't just like browse and buy stuff. Right, so we need 2 more of these. We need to fix the green and blue, and then that should get the colours looking correct. So let's do that first. And then somebody remember that these are 2.4K resistors that we're changing. So it's third one down, and third one up the other side. So it is third one down here. Turn off again. And third one up from over here. That's they're the ones that are now going to the 2.4K. Yeah, I was. That's where I literally, you know, when people ask how I got into electronics, and I literally say by blowing up transistors, and I wasn't lying. I used to go there every weekend, and I used to buy them out of transistors because I could not figure them out, and I kept blowing them up. And then I'd go a couple of times a day sometimes, and I ended up just buying pretty much every time they had transistors. I'd buy them because I knew I'd end up blowing them up. I still don't know how to use them properly to this day, to be honest. I'm much better at them now, obviously, but I think transistors you could find new ways to use, and different techniques for different circuits with them all day long. They are, well, they're literally the heart of every electronics, aren't they? So, like, I learned a lot on making the Game Gear clean juice. What I learned there, which again, I'll probably be giving away secrets for other people to steal, as always, but I learned a very important lesson there on a property of transistors that you'd never normally think about, and it's specifically involved in what's called hot plug and play. So when you go from one power source to another, so say when you're going from USB to battery or battery to USB, transistors have a rating where you'll turn them on with a like 0.6 volts or something like that, and they pass through, say, 0.5 amp of current. Well, that's only true if the output side, so the drain side on a MOSFET, for example, is at low potential, depending on, again, if it's NPN or PNP. But if the drain's low potential, which it typically is when it's off, and the source and gate then only have to differ by 0.6 volts, and 0.5 amps flowing through, that's fine. But if you then power the circuit and the drain side becomes your output voltage, and then the source comes in from somewhere else, and you want to turn that transistor off while it's hot, this hot turn off can increase the current requirement through the transistor by literally tenfold. So if you're making a transistor to support 1/2 amp, but you need to hot swap it and turn it off while it's live, you need like a transistor that can support like 20 amps. So on the Clean Juice, if I've even got one, because we probably ran out of all of them now. Yeah, I've got one in here. So see this big mofo? See that big absolute monster over there? You ever wondered why he's so big? So that one switches the entire power of the whole Game Gear. Oh, can't see on the vertical. That one there powers the entire Game Gear. That can do 2 amps or 3 amps. This one can still only do 2 amps or 3 amps, but it's the hot switch. So when we turn this on and we have power going through here, and you want to plug in this power and pass it through. In fact, yeah, that's what it is. This one has to hot swap when the drain is higher voltage. So it has to be that big, otherwise what happens is when you plug the USB in, this used to be the same size as this and it would literally smoke only when you're switching between voltage sources. And it took me so long to figure out what the hell was going on. I'd spec'd one at 2 amps, then I spec'd one at 5 amps thinking, oh, it must just be drawing more power. And I was looking and it was only passing through like 1/2 amp. But when you hot swapped between power sources, this thing would smoke. So this has to be so incredibly beefy to support the active region, it's called, in a transistor. So again, something I didn't learn until making that product, even though I'd used transistors for years. So you can always learn new stuff with electronics. I'd never say you know everything about every type of component until you make a different circuit. Where was I even at? What were we doing? Did I swap them resistors? Or did I get halfway? I must have, hadn't I? Because I think I've taken them off. I literally can't remember. I think I was going to put some solder, maybe, because that looks a bit dicey, that third one up. I think I'd hot aired it on, and I needed to just blob a bit on there. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll soon find out when we turn it on. But I just can't remember where we're up to. So this should look normal, if so. Yeah, I think it looks normal. Yeah, so I want to remember what this I know this. See, there's like flickering a colour in the noise. I had this the last time when I'd finished doing something, and oh yeah, it's looking nice now. Let's check on scope. I can't remember what that was, what the cause of that random noise was. But it was something. Digital and electronics boutique or something. Don't know about anything. I had a rage buggies everywhere, pool in the back, James Bond's I'll die. Nice. A 22-year-old wife. That's a benefit for you. Let's go on to this view. So this is what we had, and where we need it is this white line. So let's probe 4th up and press play, and fingers crossed. Nothing's... Oh no, ignore me. What am I saying? We've done the input so the colours match now, and now we need to adjust the gain. So that's fixed the inputs. So on the colours there now, see how you can see 0 is black, 1 has colour on all of them. If I hide my physog, you can see there we've got all the colour range now, and we know that because when we probe on like the 4th one up and go to PC, this is at exactly 0.2 volts. So that's what we wanted. It's now we need to change the gain is where we're up to. So that's the last step, and I've got no idea how much we want to gain it by. I'm just going to go up in 1 step on the resistor for now. Which means, going back to my schematic a minute, and now on the gain side, actually I think I remember this as well. I think this wants to go to maybe 10k. So second one down, we want to, yeah, 10k might be too much. We're at 13k, I reckon. Let's go 11, let's go middle for diddle. So this is the one that will go down. And let's do just the one again. Let's get all 3 out, sorry. I'm feeling lucky. Get 3 resistors out, but let's fit 1. And then test. So second resistor from the top. Swap him out. This will now make it the correct brightness, basically. So why does that one look like we've already swapped it? Or did I just put solder on the wrong one? Because we swapped the one below that, or should have swapped the one below that. Well, that looks like we've got solder on it. Which I'm thinking, like I said, I'll probably just maybe put my iron on it with some solder when I was doing the other one. Let me double check. So we did definitely swap. Yeah, so the other one we swapped was the one below it. Well, it's got because it's outputting right. Right, so on again. Onto HDMI. Now you'll see probably the red, I think, is the one we just changed. The red's going to be slightly more powerful than the others, and you'll probably see a slight colour shift, which you can't really tell. So let's see if we can tell on wrong way around. That one. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This should hopefully be. Doesn't appear any different. We probably should have put it where it was. 2.7. Yeah, all good. We're just now perfecting the brightness. Yeah, so that's that. I think that changed it from like maybe here 1.2. It's barely gone up, so I think we probably do need that was 11K. I'm gonna go down to 9.1K, to be honest. I don't think that was as dramatic of a shift as I was expecting. So much for getting 3 resistors out. My desk is now full of random tiny resistors. I normally blow them away so that when you get new resistors out, you don't accidentally pick the wrong old resistors. I'm going to get 3 of these out because, again, I still think this is going to be right. Got to go in it with confidence. Oh, there we go, got 4. That means I'm expected to lose one. And we are turned off. So now take this one off again. So this is 11K. Didn't make a huge difference. So now we're going to go to 9K, or 9.1 is the standard resistor size for this. There we go. And we were at, and I'll leave the bar where it was so we can see the difference this time instead of guessing. So that line is where we were. Let's just cool this down a minute because that was quite hot. Turn on. Start. Yeah, so now you can see that green tint because we've got more red in, so there's a noticeable difference now in the red, which is good. We probe on the 4th one up and press play. Boom. Why aren't you changing? What am I doing wrong? That has to be changing. It makes no sense to not change. And we've got a colour shift. What am I doing wrong? That can't be the same value. We're changing the output. And the colour shifted on screen. I'm changing something. Am I changing the wrong one? Well, not necessarily the wrong one. Oh, for God's sake, I'm changing the green, not the red. So we're doing the right resistor, but I'm probing the wrong output. I swear this is like my nemesis to never get right. Right, green output. So now we've probably gone way over on the green now as well. 3rd one up we want. 1, 2, 3. Right, so let's see. Now we're probably, I bet I was right on the first thing with 11. Oh yeah, look at that. Shocker. When you probe the right one. Oh, 1.5. We were probably bloody right at the 11 because we need to be there. Right then. 3rd time lucky. Actually, it's probably about the 7th time. I'm gonna go back to 11. I think 11 was perfect then. Yeah, the doofer is 85091 by Yeehaw. For the micro one I'm using there. I think it's quite, you know what AliExpress is like, it's probably come down loads, but I think I paid a decent amount for that. I think it was like 280 quid, but then I'm sure, like literally a week later, I'm sure I saw it on offer for like 100 and something pounds. But no, it's really good. Let's go back to, where's my mouse? Back to that. Right then. So second one down is the green channel, not the red. I don't know why I managed to do that, but that's that off. Back to the 11 we had. Something should have kind of stood out when I'd put, you know, I'd gone down by 2K and didn't even see a marginal change. That should have hinted that I was probing something wrong, but obviously didn't. Yeehwah. Right then, power on, back to scope, start, enter, down. I don't like the fact that that isn't colour shifted, but I suppose. Oh, look at that, you beaut. Absolute beauty. So we needed 1.4, and look at that. It could not be closer to 1.4 if we tried. Absolutely perfect. So now, but look how you can't really tell as well. This is how nitpicky it is, though. The green is perfect. The red and blue are technically under range, but can you tell on that? Like, that's how, you know, accurate you want to be on the scope. But realistically, you can't even tell the difference there. But on the scope now, we are perfect. So that's the difference from. I think it was like 1.2. Well, we can check because it's the one I kept probing. So there's the other one. Which is why am I clicky grabby? Yeah, 1.25 to 1.4. So that's the difference. So now all we need to do is change those other two resistors, and then I need to remember what I did. So I'll probably tell you now, so somebody can make a note so I don't forget. We're done with the scope now because we know the values. And the others are going to be the same. Come on, Picoscope, actually die. You've been using Picoscope 7 for a while now. Yes, I know. Bugger off. There we go. Oh, it's definitely, that micro hot air is definitely worth it. It's cool. You can get the sometimes if you just stay on the site and then refresh it half an hour later, it'll offer you a voucher as well for £50 off above 100 quid or something like that. So you might want to wait for that. Turn them off a minute. Let's get this. Whoops. There goes my iron on the floor. Oop. Uh-oh. Live iron wrapped around my cable. Burning my trousers. Nice. Ah, the smell of burn. Right, remove this. What are we doing now? Swapping the other two resistors and we're done. We've done green, red. So the one I thought I'd done there, 1, 2, 3 up in the gap, and it needs to be the 11. So 1, 2, 3. So this one. And I might as well go to the schematic and get the other. So we need the blue off. Blue. Here's the second one up on this side. Right, so that's them two. Now put down the 11. It was 11K, wasn't it? Yeah, because I did 11 first. It turned out it would have been perfect, and then I measured the wrong channel. So that was a pretty good guess, though. It'd be so much easier to use if I actually use the scope, though, for depth perception. It's insanely hard to figure out where that iron is when you're looking at a flat screen. And that's all of them on. This should be now all done, hopefully. And then this has got to get built up. But I can probably build this up tomorrow, so it can go tomorrow. And we'll jump onto the Game Gear next, maybe. Come on, brain, what am I doing? HDMI, turn on. Like, this should be basically fine now. That's what we're saying. And if only I could remember what this issue thing was with power. Let's see if I can get a good power supply as well that gets rid of that hum, or whether the hum was something that just comes through the capture card. I can't remember. So, clean power supply. Sure, I did this last time on stream and it made no difference, and then it turned out to be something else. We'll see. No, see, so it's made no difference, that noise. I can't remember what this noise was. Is it something to do with the ground loop on this cable? I know you can't unplug that, otherwise you won't know. Let's unplug that. Plug this straight in, maybe. So it's not that. Let's check if it's just... if it's something to do with the capture card. Let me plug it into the CRT. RGB. God, it's so much nicer on a CRT though. Like, it's absolutely perfect on CRT. Like, super sharp, super nice. That is like ridiculous, and it's so much nicer than what you see on the screen. Can't make my mind up whether no. I'll tell you what, I'll figure that noise out after. It's not that important at the minute. I think there's noise on there that I've got to figure out. But I've got a feeling if I sit and think on it, I'll remember what it was. It wasn't anything... I can't remember. It was something I wasn't expecting it to be, and it wasn't actually a problem, if that makes sense. I wonder if it's the game as well. It can't be, can it? Because I bet if we turn on without this, you'll get the noise. Oh, you won't get... yes and no. Less noise. Yeah, it's normal there. Not there. It might just be my mains coming through this when capturing. I'll figure that one out anyway. We can ignore the noise for now. I'll sort that out before it goes. Let me see if I've got a game. Well, I have, but master system, columns, side. Oh, what's that one? Have we got the gold max? I've just got the flash card. Just give it a quick test, and then I can wrap this one up tomorrow morning. That noise as well. I want to figure it out. See, I'm going to make a clean amp for this as well, because I think the audio channels aren't actually... I don't think they're quite balanced and right, to be honest, on the Mega Drives. I think people have mentioned that before, where you can improve the... you can improve the audio channels. That buzz is definitely something I want to figure out. Oh yes, we've got slight jail balls as well we need to fix. bear in mind we had this noise with the composite as well. There's the same noise, wasn't there? So we've got, see that slight slight band in there. Let's fix that, because I think that is just the normal fix I've already got on the wiki, which works for this perfectly fine. So let's go and find out. Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive jailbar fix. It is the 5.1. Oh, we're not even on this. There we go. Where are we? Too zoomy. Down there. 5135313 pin 50. So this is that thing we did before where it didn't work on the VA45 as well. But pin 50 should be 33, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. So this little one here. So by this island, small island, let's get a little hooky tweezer. And this one. So I'm going to get behind there, apply a little bit of pressure, warm up, and that's him lifted. So he's now out the way. I think if we've done that right, that'll be the jail bars fixed. There we go. No more jail bars by the looks of it. Let's just check in Sonic fully. Yeah, jail bars are gone. Just a composite chroma carrier, but because this is going OSS and HDMI, that's all we need to do. We could reboot that trace agreement to maintain composite, but we should probably turn the HDMI down a bit. It's louder than I am. Yeah, no, there's still definitely some ground noise. I was just about to say, is it just literally the audio amp, but I do think that ground noise is present a bit. But is that also is that just a Mega Drive thing? Like, if you're mentioning you've had the audio as well, is that not necessarily anything to do with anything different, if you know what I mean? It's on composite, it's on this Mega Drive. Ooh, secret level. Is that just Mega Drive's audio? I really can't remember. Is that bare now as well? I forget that the microphone's kind of placed 50-50 between the actual audio coming out the speaker and where I am. No! Yeah, so that audio, I don't know. Do a bit of research and figure out. I'd like to fix it. I mean, when it's not crazy loud anyway, I can't really hear it. You have to really focus. But I'd like to see if it is just a Mega Drive thing, and if so, we're fine for now. Until I make like a clean audio, like a clean amp for cleaning up the audio, which I'm thinking it is, like I say, because you mentioned. Actually, I don't know that we could use a normal clean amp. And what we could possibly use is we could use the clean amp from the Game Gear, because I do a headphone amp on that, and we could pass it through. I haven't got time for that though at the minute. I can figure that one out tomorrow if I think on it. But yeah, if anyone has a couple of Mega Drives, I've got loads, I can test more, but it'd be interesting to see if that noise is just standard noise at the minute on the outputs. We could also, don't think it'll make any difference, but let's just unbridge the random ferrite bead that Zach bridged on here. I really don't think that'll help. You never do. But we might as well unbridge that. But I'm sure I had this on one of them and I solved it in 2 seconds. But I don't know if it was an audio issue or a glitching. It was more the glitching, you know, it was flickering and glitching that it's not doing now. That's what I'm sure I had before. Oh, they have headphone ports as well. Yeah, we can try that. And then that eliminates the... If it comes out of that, it's pretty much the console, isn't it, at that point? So let's try. Has that gone? No, I thought it had gone then, but we've just got this turned down. No, it's still there. Plug that in. No, it's coming out of the headphones as well. So it's literally... You know, I think that's the USB port still not being clean. That's what I'm thinking. But if it varies with screen, then it's going to be video RAM noise, which is then inherent in the game, in the Mega Drives. The way we'll tell that is let's get a clean juice, so we're not dealing with mains power in USB. And let's pass in power from the clean juice and power this, basically power the Mega Drive from a Game Gear clean juice as the solution. This will tell us for sure if the noise is anything to do with mains hum. Which if it is, it might be just my mains is pretty bad. Like, especially in this room with all the equipment running. You'll probably find that on a normal machine, you won't get anywhere near as much noise. Well, let's see. See if it's that or not. Yeah, there's not much the clean juice for the Game Gear hasn't fixed. These are embedded in so many devices. This is how you make a portable Mega Drive anyway. You could now power this, as long as you've got a screen. You get up there. You go on there. You can sit on top of the clean juice for the USB port rather. You can be the ground. You can be the power. Oops. There we go. Right then. Let's see. Powered by a clean juice. And look at that. Still noisy. Not as bad, but still noisy. So it is just the Mega Drives. They are inherently noisy on the audio then, based on maybe the flash cart and the circuitry and stuff. Or it's just my my capture card setup or something like that, but this is, the noise is still there just as much. Yeah, so this is now completely literally powered from a clean juice, so on and off. Turning a Game Gear on with a Game Gear, turning a Mega Drive on with a clean power. But yeah, the noise is still there, so there's obviously there's some kind of inherent issue with noise on here. Yeah, and then you pause, you can hear it. So I wonder, what if we power one of these regulators with the clean juice and the other with the USB? Because the original had 2 regulators. Not that I don't think this will help, but let's give it a go. That one on there. Let's pick a regulator. Doesn't matter which, we're just isolating the 2. So I'm going to disconnect the output of one from there, turn over, and we will go flappy front audio jack. Is that what it was? This thing causing the issue? I can't even remember. I just remember we had that issue. Right, in, out. So this is the output. So now if we turn these on roughly at the same time, we'll have the clean juice powering one thing and the clean power powering the other. So let's turn them both on. And now we have two independent regulators powering this system. Ooh. Yes. Interesting. But that's darker now because we haven't got the 5 volts regulated, so see how the output's quite dark. And we've got a weird, that's strange. When you pause it, it like fades slowly. I mean, the noise is still on my meter, but it's massively reduced. Let's try swapping these around. Let's go this one. Come on, iron. Actually warm up. There we go. We'll do this one on here. This one on here. And then I've got an idea or so. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I've got an idea. You back up. You can disconnect. And let's see where this gets us. For this, in theory, I don't know what we're proving, to be honest. I'm just wiring things different. Right, turn them both on again. If the video goes normal, it means the audio one is this pin. Ooh, yeah, listen to that. Even worse this way around. And there's that random flicker that, did we say it was that? Yeah, listen to that. Flickering noise, all kinds of things. So, that tells us this one is the audio one, or the part of the circuit that wants separating. So shall we put... What was my original thought? I had a thought and I've forgotten my thought. Yeah. I think let's try. This is what my thought was. Let's try leaving that off because it's nothing specifically to do with the clean juice. And let's bridge. The thing with the regulators, this is currently a board that accepts 5 volts from the USB. It doesn't do anything else. There's no regulators built into the clean power yet. Worse. Let me take these regulators off. Was that the thing that we figured out? The regulators were adding backfeed. That what we found out last time. Don't think my iron likes warming up when there's a thingy plugged into it. And there's a ground lead plugged into there. My iron keeps thinking it's up to temp. So let's take this off. So these are just 5 volt dropout regulators, but we just bridge them because it's like that's pretty normal and they don't normally have issues on any other console. But I'm wondering whether we're adding some kind of noise back into the circuit when these are on. But the problem is we bridge these, you've got to bridge them to join them together to power it all from one 5-volt source. But I wonder if leaving them on and bridging them is worse than just bridging them. There we go. Right then. So that's that off. And then let's move the shorts to the top so I can see them, so they're more obvious. No, the regulators aren't needed with the clean power. You bridge them just to save taking them off typically, but in this instance, we're taking them off to see if they're going to reduce the noise. We obviously solved it by having a battery powered separate ground set. Ow, Jesus, electric shock. Battery powered mains, which means there's two different grounds, which isn't really a solution even if you double regulated, because this doesn't have a shared ground. So what we did here was a true SAPEC isolation. It's not something we can realistically do with just regulators. It's just more of a test to prove if the noise was related, which obviously I've got a solution for doing that properly, which is one of the things I mentioned before, where the reason I'm not making any more clean power at the minute is I have a potential solution for this kind of thing, more so for the video noise you get, so you don't need high quality USB. And it involves basically generating the separate grounds, like truly independent grounds from the mains grounds. Dusty, where's my other little wire gone? I think I've lost it. Let's make another one off. And it could also just be that the audio needs more capacitance as well. But to be honest, the Mega Drive has that many damn capacitors, I doubt that's going to be a problem. And we could even replace the entire audio circuit for a clean amp if we had to. Something like that. There's options we can go with. But let's see what this does. So no change here except the fact we've just removed the regulators ultimately. That's what the change is at this point. No difference. Nothing there. We can't test, well, let's test audio with that, one thing we've never tested. No, so it comes through there regardless of that. So it's not that. It's not drawing power yet, so it can't be power related. If it's just noise, there's probably... let's try moving. Oops, shite. Just melted my mouse as well now with the iron. I'm melting everything with this iron. Let's try moving that ground over. And then if not, I'll leave this one for tonight. Oh. It's not the weather. It's all that moving around with the cable. And then we'll revisit this because I'll probably make an actual mod for it if I have to. Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's made no difference. but we know isolating this specific regulator, which is the audio amp, removes the noise. So it's probably something we could figure out on the audio circuit. We could probably like smooth the DC offset of the audio inputs or something. We'd have to look at the audio circuit. I don't know, do we do that now or do we jump onto the game gear? Let's have a quick look. Public files, schematics, Mega Drive, VA, doesn't matter, let's pick a VA4. In fact, isn't there a new, I think there's a new schematic for, yeah, keycard schematic, there we go. Pull up the PC, there we go, so redrawn schematic, let's have a quick gansy. That's the audio, wow, this is messy. Yeah, it's a schematic in a fashion. That is really bad. Like, why is this all screwed up? I think the original schematic's better than this one. That's a mess. Oh yeah, most definitely. We've gone off now onto a different tangent. There's the video, audio in. Whoever drew this, like, thank you for drawing it, but Jesus, this is worse than the original. Yeah, so look at the, yeah, it's using a Yamaha audio chip, digital audio. So we've got all the digital. That's part of what the problem is. The audio is digital coming from the Mega Drive, and then it's passing the digital out through this, through two caps, through to here. Wow, I cannot see a thing. So this is the interesting thing. IC12, but they've labeled it U12, which on ours is this one. So this is the digital audio, Yamaha. So this will be generating digital and analog normally. They normally have a digital and a PG output. Let's have a look if they've got the PG output as well. Digital, analog. So VDDA is obviously the separate clean one, and there's the digital. So the Yamaha chip has the digital and the analog, and because we're mixing the two, we're getting the noise. Then it's got the two outputs there, and there we go. Sound is normally, yeah, it hasn't got a separate output. It's just got the digital mixed into left and right. So yeah, the problem is this: pin 23 and 22 using the same voltage, I'd say, and that's why using the, so I'm guessing IC17 is VDDA. That's why using the CleanRGB one fixed that. Where is, oh yeah, it's one schematic of the over here. Oh no, it's the other way around. That can't be. Oh, VCCQ, not VCA. Have they named it wrong as well? Oh no, it says VCQ, so yeah, that's, oh no. Yeah, where's VDDA then? There's another one. It's not the regulators. Is it, I can't remember the key to highlight. There we go. Where's this coming from? Got one smoothing cap there. Smoothing cap there. Here we go. Inductor. So the whole thing is based on coming off VDDQ, going through an inductor. So it is that IC17. It is this one drops the 5 volts, but that won't matter as such because it's an LDO, won't isolate the noise really. Not when it's under two different loads, but then you're going through an inductor. This is meant to form a noise isolation, but these are terrible at doing this. I've never found it where an inductor and a cap generally filters noise very well. So what the inductor does is resist the change in current. So the voltage spikes on this side from the digital noise get damped in here, and then we have to re-smooth it out after because there's no capacitance after the inductor. So it isolates these two sections of the circuit in theory, but I've never known inductors work very good. That's why when we isolated them properly with a different power supply, it worked, but in this case it didn't. So I think we're adding more noise. I think this inductor, I think, is going to add more noise, not less. Let's have a look where this goes as well, out of curiosity. Oh, they just named it different. Can't really trust the schematic too much, though. We have is that a Zener diode they've got? This is a reset circuit if the voltage drops, so that won't matter too much. Why is it even on there? Oh, it's just a classic thing. If the audio voltage drops, it resets the circuit. I've seen that on an Amiga somewhere. No, CleanAmp won't fit. Well, I don't know. It depends if the noise is coming from the audio, the regulator or not, which I don't think it is. 1 second. I just got to program another BIOS. 1 second. Another BIOS is sold. Just do this Neo Geo BIOS, then we'll jump back on. Side quest number 3. Yeah, so it depends where the noise is coming from. I think. I don't know what I think, to be honest. It's probably one of them I'm gonna have to maybe think on a bit, other than what we're doing here. The first thing I'm going to do is probably remove that inductor, though. I've got a feeling that inductor is going to add nothing but noise. But then, does it even fit in? Yeah. I don't know. It's going to take a bit of investigating to figure out properly. And again, the reason you won't get this noise on an original power supply is because the old bricks are transformer based, so they isolate the mains completely. So the noise is very much likely. Well, it isn't, is it? It's not actually. No, it can't be that, because if we power it from the clean juice, we still get the noise. So it's not mains noise. It is actual. It's crosstalk between the two circuits. So let me just program this a second. 27C 1024. That will do. So maybe this noise is just generally there. Ferrites. Well, see, I've done a load of research into noise suppression and everything, and there's loads of different. It depends what the noise is. So you've got ferrite beads. You've got inductors. You've got another thing I'm not going to mention because it's a secret that I don't want to give away yet in noise suppression. That's actually on the clean screen V4. So they're not ferrite beads. They're not inductors. That's something else that I've done. I've designed a very specific noise filtering circuit to separate the digital noise from the game gear. Doesn't really work that well, but I put a lot of effort into designing that circuit. So there's a lot more with noise. Then you've got common mode noise, then you've got chokes, then there's power line filters, there's loads of different things. They're all based around inductors. But again, similar to what I said about how you can keep learning with transistors, there's a lot more with inductors than I even knew there was. That's all I'll say for now on that topic until I've learned more. But there is definitely There's many ways that you can get noise on a circuit, and this one is the fact it changes with the game loads and screens. It's going to be digital noise coming from probably this chip that's right by the Yamaha. It's probably just crosstalk on here, but it's amplified by the fact that we're sharing the power directly at the minute. But we'll see what bridging L2 does, because I've got a feeling that will help. We've got to find L2 though. Right, that's programmed. Cool. So that's that done. And like I say, I could really do with getting onto this game gear as well as this, because I can figure this one out like later if I need to. And I don't want to spend too much time on just this one. That's weird. My mic's not got a coloured light around. It normally has. Right, so my only thought at the minute is this is just the second regulator that when we power it, we know we get clean audio. So that goes into. See, now that's why it definitely isn't the regulators. There's a strange reason why it's working, but it isn't that, because look at what it's powering. It's powering the Z80. It's powering the RAM. And this thing is what's then powering the audio circuit. So it's bridging them to regulators is not the issue, because there's no way it's isolated. So the fact that when we power one of them completely separate is a hint, but I think it's leading us down the wrong path, if you know what I mean, just based on what I'm seeing here. This is, so it's going through EM filters here to go to probably an external port. Yes, that's not a problem. It's also powering, in fact, it's powering everything. So what's the other regulator powering more so? This is powering, yeah, this is powering absolutely everything. So I'm more intrigued at what VCC is powering then instead. What's this thing actually powering then? Is that the external? Floppy? Huh? Have I got the wrong schematic open? The hell's the... We don't have a floppy? What the hell? Is there a secret on this Mega Drive? I don't know. Are they calling the extension port at the edge a floppy? I'm intrigued. What's this? Yeah, I think they've... Let's go back. Oh, why does it keep opening the wrong file? I think hang on, let me open the actual project. I haven't got the project open. Retro 6 Mega Drive. Where's Mega Drive? There's Mega Drive. Keycard project. Oh, that's why I've got the other keycard project open. Schematic is here now. Close that down. Discard changes. Drag this one over. Now opening that should work. Drag that one over. Now go back to schematic. There we go. Now what's this? Floppy. Yeah, so they called the edge connector floppy. I don't know. Maybe that's something that's called in the schematic, but that's the Mega CD thing. So let's get back on track again. Going so far off topic here. Right, so that one powers the floppy, which is the extension. It's powering the... That should be 315 surely. 315-5313, which is the VDP. So all it's doing is splitting load. This is powering the VDP. That's about it. VDP and 68K. So this is powering like the Mega Drive side, if you will, the game load side. And the other one is then powering the Z80, which, to be honest, I bet the Z80 and this RAM, no, they're going in there. So it is doing some processing. Still going to the chip. Yeah, so no, it's just split load, that is. So the only thing that's standing out to me is it's literally that inductor. That's the only thing I can think. It's adding noise as opposed to removing it. So let's find L2. This should give us a hint. L2 is... It's not L2, that's highlighted the whole net. Just you. Oh, stop highlighting the net. What the hell? There we go. Back. L2. Back to here. Why is it not highlighting? There we go. L2.
You got something for me, look.
Yeah.
And I guess it'd be me.
Yeah. Right, so L2 is over. Where's my mouse gone? Wrong screen. Apparently they planned a floppy. Yeah, in fact, yeah, actually, I think that is true. I think I've heard that before. Right, so let's go back to this. So my only thought left is, where's the zoomy zoom? Is this L2 here? Yep, so this thing right here, I think we'll be adding noise as opposed to removing it. Let's flip over and try bridging this pin here. So that one there, we want to bridge over. Oh, now I've lost it already. Looked away and looked up. And look down. Is it this one here? We said. To be honest, that's the same pin either way. That's the same two traces. It's two components on there. There's a cap and an inductor, so it actually doesn't matter which one of them because it's the same trace. So we need to bridge over this with a bit of wire. So let's see what that does. This now, it'll either going to make it worse or better or no change. I suppose we might as well choose the headphone port to test. And then if this doesn't work, we'll jump onto the Game Gear for now, because I'd need to really think on. Oh, hang on. Got no power when we do that. Have I bridged the wrong thing? I've bridged to ground like a Egypt. Bridged the total wrong pin. Let's try that again. Turn on. What is going on? Why are we shorting out? What am I doing wrong? Let me actually look at where the pin goes. That's there. Still bridged the wrong one. I blame looking at the stream and then looking down and going to the wrong one. Third attempt. We'll bridge the right pin this time. There we go. Third time's definitely the charm. No different. Big, giant, crazy, fat capacitor, maybe. Lazy solution. Yeah, let's try that. Why not? Let's go to IC 12 maybe. Show me the pinout. VREF. See now, VREF might be the noisy one actually as well. VCC pin 12. Oh, and VREC. I might have to read the data sheet to be honest. There's quite a few power supplies to this audio chip. In fact, hang on. Oh, tried. Another little idea. Let's find out where the noise enters. Turn off. So now I can tap around with this, and if I ground it, you get nice silence. So once it's on the circuit, we're fine. Turn on. Ow, Jesus, spike. What we need is actually probably to load into a game so we can hear Sonic. So we know when we're actually on something useful. There's the controller. This would help if I just had a normal game as well. I think we've preloaded Sonic, so I can just press start. Let's see. Yeah, so I can just press start to get into a game. So now, if I unplug that, and we use Proby Probe, let's find out where Sonic is. There we go. Still noise on there. Yep, still noise there. Even more noise amplified, so it's on the input side, which is pin what? 9, 10, 11. 9, 10. So pin 11, which is output. Interesting, output. Pin 1's the input. Why is the pin 1 is louder? They're not amplifying it through this chip. They're actually they're making it quieter. So here's the input, and pin 1. Oh, so pin 2. Oh, that's 2 outputs. Pin 2 is the input. Interesting. So pin 2 input. Can't hear anything. Pin 3 is in A. Can't hear anything. Pin 4 is ground. Pin 5 is VREF. No noise on the reference pin. Pin 6 is input again. Nothing. Pin 7. Nothing. Still got noise coming through. Yeah, so the outputs have got noise, but the inputs don't have any noise coming in. Like they're that weak, you can't even hear the noise basically. So 9, 10, now 11. Now pin 12's got noise on. There you go, there's the noise. And pin 12 is VCCQ. So we are literally picking up. So I presume you guys can hear that. That's the power supply going into the amp. And you hear that's that's part of the audio leaking out. So if I go to the audio, and I pause it, so that's the static noise. That's the power supply. And bear in mind, if I put this on other pins, it goes purely silent. So the benefit of doing this test is you can actually hear the noise on the power rail, if that makes sense. So if I put this on the 5-volt rail, that is 5-volt rail noise. That's what we're hearing. That's passing through to the audio. So the issue is quite simply, this pin alone, if we powered that pin by the clean juice, the noise should go away. That's one way to prove that the only noise issue is this getting clean power, and then see if it can convert the digital noise, which there's also a volume in as well. Hang on, this is the headphone one, but the headphone one's got noise as well. Yeah, so that's actually the headphone amp, which will get noise. The Yamaha over here, so the U11, but they're sharing the power, so they're going to have the same issue. Pin 23 on this is noise, so pin 26, 5, 4, 3. Oh, even worse. What have we gone wrong? Oh no, pin 23 is up here. 26, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, so there's the power noise. So the issue is we could do with these having clean power, no pun intended, and I think that would solve the issue. So we might just need a different solution on here to figure out. And if we compare that to, that's one input, that's another. So these inputs are obviously shared. If we've got the, yeah, we've got the clean juice for the Game Gear. Let's tack him on as well. And this is why it's called a clean juice, because it really is clean. If we now turn this on and touch on here, actually touch on. So if I touch on the 5-volt output of the thingy, now it doesn't sound that clean there, but that high pitch noise is very fast pulses that are smooth. So they don't typically pass through to audio because the higher up, so they filter out with the low pass filters. And then you compare that to that, the lower noise, the lower frequencies are what pass into the audio. So then if we were to, what shall we do here? Turn that off a minute. The Yamaha shares VCCQ. Yes, it does. And I think that is there's a lot of different power rails, but I'm just going to say that power rail for now goes all over the board, goes into pin 2 there, up and out of that. So if I cut that there, powered that part, oh no, it's powering loads of things. It's going over to there, over to something over there. So yeah, do we try just powering? We can try just powering the Yamaha on its own, out of curiosity, just the Yamaha. And the other thing I can do is try to just inject 5 volts straight over the top of this. I don't know what that's going to do, because I don't know which voltage is higher, but out of curiosity, that's now turned on. So, oh yeah, turn that down. Let's try powering this from the 5 volts, which is pin 2. No difference. Don't think pause. No. So it's not specific to that. Let's try disconnecting this loop, which I think is where we got to the last time. I think we had this off and we powered this circuit down from the clean juice. So if we put the clean juice to power this side of the board, and they're sharing ground now, so actually it isn't an isolated ground thing because they're sharing ground. Turn them on at the same time again. So it actually isn't, it isn't fully clean that way. In fact, it's not much cleaner. So if I let that load, why can't I? There we go, pause. So turn the volume up. Yeah, so you know when we thought we got rid of it, we never did. That's the noise with the clean just powering it. So I think this is actually just an issue with Mega Drives. I think the whole circuits are noisy. It's just a lot quieter when you isolate it that way. So that's with the clean just, which is just a different frequency power supply. As I say, it's higher pitch, but if you turn it up, that's just that higher pitch noise off the clean juice. Then if I turn the clean juice off, you obviously get the collapse because there's no voltage. So it actually, we thought we'd solved it with that, but it isn't. This is inherent in the Mega Drives by the looks of it. I think they do have that noise then. So I think that is just something that all Mega Drives have. But that does mean I want to solve this, but that's not actually an issue for us for right now, if that makes sense. This is just normal Mega Drive behavior. They do have some noise on the audio, basically, is just what it is. But that does mean we can make a clean amp for the Mega Drive, which is the plan anyway, with the goal to improve. Because that's not, like, it sounds worse on the stream than when I plug it in like the CRT. Yeah, like I say, it's inherent in the Mega Drives at the minute, so it's like not something we can just change and go, oh, magically the audio is better. That is, by the sounds of it, just what the Mega Drives currently sound like. So yeah, it'll be definitely a clean amp for that, which, like I've said, it is in the works anyway. So that's Mega Drive all done. That zooming out a bit. There we go. Right, I am probably, it's been a long day anyway, it's already 4:30 and I've got other work to do. I've got to still do, this has just got to be built up now, I think, because it's all done, isn't it? So I'll build this up in the morning before I come on stream. I've got to do a Game Gear and re-PCBs tomorrow, so tomorrow is definitely going to be a Game Gear day, I think. That's for sure. And I think we've been streaming quite a while now. I think we've streamed most of the day, to be honest, haven't I? Bar getting the haircut. Pretty much streamed all day. Yeah, the product list is definitely growing. I've still got to do the clean screen VA45 code shortly as well, and we're running out of clean screens for GBA and SP, and I haven't even started that production, and I'm just about starting the clean screen for GBO, GBC, and GBP. So I'm literally just going around in circles, and as soon as one product's ended, I'm having to make another. And I've also got a Game Gear up here that I don't even know why it's up here on my side. Not even got a clue. I can go there. There. Done with that for now. This needs building, so yeah, that's all done. Oh yeah, shit, them resistors. No, ribbons aren't made yet. They'll come after the code. Them resistors were 11k on the output instead of 13, and the input was 2.4k, I think, weren't they? If so, dump that in Discord somewhere, maybe. Just put like DC offset resistors 2.4k and output gain resistors 11k. I'm pretty sure that's what we put on. Otherwise, I've done all this again and forgot to make notes. I think that's what they were. Well, I brought a rug for down here, and it just constantly molts, like just bits come off it permanently. No, that's that one. Oh yeah, customer's Game Gear. and re-PCBs I've got to do. I was shite and I've got to contact the Xbox dude and the other Mega Drive dude. So I'll do that now before I forget. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2.4K because I went the wrong way first, and the other one was 11K was the output gain resistors. That's what they were, and then I can figure out the guide after from there. Right, so yeah, that's it anyway. I need to crack on and wrap up, get some food, and then I'll see you guys on stream again tomorrow, I'm sure. So thanks everybody for joining in again.